Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny Fruit Markets apps inside. Today we need to see this here the onboarding screen. So need to develop here. First of all, so need to see these designs inside the XD files. First of all, so need to look like this here the UI. Need to draw here inside the one screen. So need to using this here the page view controllers, as well as need to use this here the on page controllers. Need to develop here for the this UI, and also need to this draw here the common buttons also need to draw today. And first of all, so need to see this here the exporting this here the three image, how to export this image inside the XD files. So need to explain here. First of all, so need to create here the fix row here this box like here, and you need to create here the transparents, and we need to find out here the layers, and we need to making here the group like here the bottoms, and this rect also need to remove here the borders no needs, and also remove here the fill colors. We need to copy same these here or these screens. You need to paste here, select here the screens, paste here like here, and also these screens like you need to creating like here for this here the box. And now need to create like here the box. First of all, need to maintain this here the screen layers, and we need to find out here the selection event like here, and we need to identify here the layers. We need to putting here to create here the another groups also same as here rectangles and group. We need to identify here which group rectangles and this group, this merge this group like here create same as here, and we need to give this rectangles and create like this here the group like here. Now we need to export this group here. First of all, need to export here the command E for the exporting here. We need to give this here the in three image. We need to give this here the names, and to exporting this here the 2x image for the desktop like here, same as for this screens like here, and we need to find this here, export here, select this here, and we need to give this here the name into like here, same as here for this screen. We need to select this screen here UI and this group, and exporting in one like this. We need to exporting this image. We need to making here the groups, and to give this here the same image. That's why I need to not making here the issue with here the UI showing. Now we need to write down here the screens. Already we need to yesterday need to write here the onboarding screen scaffolds and center UI. We need to develop here. We need to first of all the import this image inside the asset image folders. Inside we need to give this here the three image. Need to exporting here. Need to copy here like here, and we need to paste this here for these images. And now need to run these projects here. Now we need to create here the centers. We need to develop this here the remove here the centers no needs. We need to clean this here. Maybe we need to need this text fields. We need to use again. Need to create here first of all the wrap with here the columns, and to change this here column to stack like here, and we need to give this here the alignments. We need to setting this here the alignments dot centers. We need to like this write down here. If you need here the bottoms, then to set this here the bottom, but now no needs. That's why if you not line this right, if you always by default here the centers, that's why I need to not need to write this here the alignment centers like here. Now we need to first of all the create here the page controllers. We need to define here for the variables and initialize this here. Need to write down here the init state, select page is equal to, need to set this here the 0, and we need to write down here the page controllers, and we need to set here the controllers. We need to declare here, and we need to set this here the page controllers like here, initialize for this controlling here like setting here for these controllers. Now need to write down here the init states. Need to set here the optionals is good like here, and we need to initialize this control here, and we need to remove here for semicolons like here. Now we need to set here the on change events. We need to controllers, add the listener and name to not here, semicolon, and we need to here we need to check this here the listener as a functions. We need to get here and we need to set here the question mark like this sets. Now we need to check here if mounted, and we need to set this here the set states, and now we need to set here the select page is equal to we need to set here the controllers question mark dot page. If not gets, then to set this here the 0, like we need to configurations are the need here. Need to check here this page value as a doubles, need to set here the convert, to integers, and set here question. And remove this like here the brackets, and we need to write down here the select page like this events. We need to write down here for this UI. Now we need to develop this here the page view controllers. We need to developing here page view builder like here, set here the context and indexed like here. Need to set here the removing this here, and we need to return this here containers. We need to returning here semicolons. Give this here the width. We need to use this here context dot width, and give this here the height context dot width. Need to give this here the square. Need to like this sets here. So now need to set here the childs. I need to set here the image assets like here. Maybe we need to initialize here the page array like here. Give this here the image img, and we need to set this here the path semicolons, and we need to copy relative path, set here, and set here the comma. Same as second image, and third image we need to set this here 2 and 3, and we need to set here the initialize of the length. We need to given this here item counts like this. We need to pass this here the length, set here. Now we need to get this here the object p object is equal to, need to get this here the page array index of value. Need to get here like here, and we need to pass this here the image OMG. Like we need to setting this here and we need to set here the fit to it, box fit, it width, and we need to use like this here. And we need to set here the width. Also need to configure this here the context dot width. Like here, we need to set here and need to save this here and to look like this here the show for this here the images. Like we need to configure this here. Then after we need to creating here the margin paddings. We need to given this here the margin const pages insert only, and we need to set this here the bottoms. We need to set here the context dot. We need to remove this here const value but width multiply by 0. This need to give this here the bottom and show like here's maybe, and show this here the like here the tops for this UI, and also need to set this here the padding. Const edges insert symmetric horizontals. We need to give this here the 30, like here the padding. So we need to configure this here. Maybe 30 is not good. We need to set here the 20, similar to designs. Look like this here the show. For the page controllers, we need to set here the page view, and sliders. We need to place sliders. We need to draw here. Now we need to image wise. We need to set this here the titles. We need to alignments, and we need to set here the titles and subtitles for this area. Like here's we need to give these two parts. Like first one's titles has a e-shop. Second one is the delivery on way. Third one is the delivery arrive, and the other ones we need to order. Like this, we need to copy and paste here for the subtitle text. Like here, and we need to save this here. So we need to restart this app because we need to add after initialize the screens. That's we need to again reloads and to get this here the value. And then after we need to set here the inside here. We need to creating here the image after. Maybe need to remove this here the width. Wrap with here the column, and we need to set here the image right. Paste this here, that like here. Need to change here symmetric vertical margins like this. Sets here, we need to set here like this show here, and we need to set here the space. Maybe no need here the width. We need to cut this text here, paste this here, and remove this here the center. Like showing here, we need to set here the font weight. We need to set here the 700s like here, and we need to check here the font size. We need to set here the 20 semi bold 20, and we need to set this here the titles. We need to use this p object, and we need to set here the title and show like this here the e-shopping. Same as now need to create here the another text like this, and we need to set here the subtitle, and we need to set here the secondary text and check here the font. We need to set here the 15 regular to remove this the font weight and look like this show here's delivery and here need to showing for this data. Now this is are the page controllers are the set here. Now need to show here the indicator of the page need to row here and we need to write down here the events on page change events and we need to get this here the new well like here's and we need to set this here the state and we need to set here the select page is equal to new well like we need to configure this here. Now we need to show here create here the column and we need to make inside the safe area for these controllers like here. Now we need to making here first of all the page controllers we need to develop here for this UI. Need to create here the and we need to set here the main axis not cross axis alignment. We need to set here the center and after we need to create here the row and inside we need to making here the main axis alignment need to set here the center here. Now we need to create here the page builders we need to developing here so we need to use this here this array and we need to use this here page array dots to clean here page array dot maps and we need to get this here the view object like here return this here container semicolons and to list like here. Now first of all need to find out here the index of this value need to page array index of give this here the object as a p object and we need to get this here the index. Now we need to set here the width and height so we need to give this here the 8 and we need to create here the decorations box decoration create here the colors if here the selected page equal to indexed then we need to set this here the t color primary colors means active colors and otherwise we need to set here the color white color transparent like here's and we need to set here the border radius set here first of all the border also need to give this here the color t color active colors and we need to give this here the width as a 1 and set here the border radius circular so need to set here the 4 and we need to save this here and show like this here the UI maybe increase this so need to set here the 12 and also radius we need to change this here the divide by 6 divide by 2 look like this here the show here and then after we need to set here the margin edges inset symmetric verticals need to give this here the 8 means here not verticals horizontals and maybe need to set here the 4 is good like here so need to setting here for this UI. Now need to give this here the space here and again space and one space here and now we need to set here the skip buttons Need to set here the logic. Before you need to create here the skip buttons, you need to draw here the button. You need to write down here the buttons in quell on tab event appears, and we need to create here the childs. Need to create here the containers, decorations, box decorations. Create here the color, recolor, primary colors. Set here the border radius circulars. We need to set this here the pie, and we need to give this here the width. We need to set here the pix. Now we need to set this here the 160, and also need to set here the height 50. Like this we need to configure and show like this here the buttons of the bottom, so need to showing here. Remove this here the space, and we need to give this here the fix height space. We need to set this here, so we need to configure this here the context dot width, and width multiply by 0.25, and show like this here the center. Now no need this here, remove this space. Now we need to set here the center text to give this here the alignment dot center, and we need to give this here the childs. Set here the text. We need to set here the titles. We need to give this here the next buttons, and we need to set here style text styles. Set here the color, color white text. We need to configure this here, and also need to give this here the font size. Need to check here inside the XD files, 14 medium, font weight. Need to set here the 500 mediums, and look like this here. The next buttons we need to show here for this UI. Now we need to convert these buttons into the common buttons. Now we need to cut here this button, copy, and we need to create here the common widgets, and to create here the new files. Write down here the name as a round button dot dot. Create here the statelet widgets, round buttons, and we need to paste this code here, and to declare here the some property. First of all, import this here the material dependency. Create here the final string title, button titles, final dot void callback, and we need to write down here the on press event. On pressed, here's give this here the width, final, set here the double. Need to write down here the width. Now need to configure this here, so also need to configure this here the height, double dot heights. Maybe sometimes need to change this here the height of these buttons. That's why we need to give this here the specific height, and to pass these parameters. Now this here width is not required. If you not given this here, you need to write down here the max width, double dot max width. Like we need to write down here double dots max width, and we need to give this here the fix height. Now set here the 50. First of all, need to configure this here the height. Then after need to give this here the width. Then after need to set this here the title for this next, and also import this here this color extensions. And we need to on press event, also need to configure this here the on press. Now need to save these buttons, and we need to write here the buttons. We need to use this here round buttons. Set here the titles. We need to check here select page equal to 2. Otherwise you need to give this here the page array dot length minus 1. Then we need to set this here get started, like this titles we need to set here. Otherwise next buttons like this show, and we need to set here the on press event. Remove these ears. Now no needs, clean ears and show like this ears, and also need to set this here the width configurations. We need to set here the 160, otherwise 150 is good. Look like this similar to UI, and we need to set here the some width height space bottom. Need to set here the peak height 50, and like this here the show to set 20. And now this is like here the drawing, like here the UI with page ignitions, and change this here the titles. Also now we need to put this here the skip buttons. We need to draw here in top. We need to write down here. Need to cross axis. We need to set here. Create here the row like here, and we need to create here the title buttons, text button. Set here the text. We need to copy any text here. Need to set here text. Give this here the button names as a skip. Set here the style, text styles. Set here color, key color, secondary text. Set here the font size. We need to check here for these buttons. Need to give this here the button regulars like here, and we need to give this here the main axis elements. So need to set here the end and show like this here the skip buttons, and make sure we need to give this here the conditions. If here the check these conditions, need to apply here. If like here not equal to here, then to show the skip buttons, and to change here, and last page then to remove this here the skip. Like this we need to configure this here, and need to set for this here the. Now we need to give this here the write down this logics for the next page, and set the move here. Click on next. If need to check here these conditions, if here the not equal to here -1, and we need to write down here the actions to do action here, and we need to write down here the void load next screen. Like here, write down here these functions, copy these functions. We need to skip button inside, give this here the write this code calls, and if you here the get started, then you need to call this like here the event. Now if here the next button press, then to automatically change this here the index. Set state, need to write down here the select page equal to +1, like here. Need to configure this enter logics. Now need to not work this click events, maybe need to restart here. Set here the wrong conditions, that's why not working. Continue this years, and need to set here the controllers dot animate to page, and you need to set here the selected page. Give this here the duration and milliseconds we need to set here. Need to set here the 200 for these animations, and we need to set here the curve dot in out, like we need to set here. Here not pass here the controllers, that's why need to get here the errors. Need to fix this here. First of all, this builder controllers, and need to set here controllers, save here, restart this app, and now again so need to test this here, like here changing here. Maybe we need to no need this here the declare. If you not set, then also working here, like here. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.